Hiya!
Hiya, she's Kate and Lavagna.
She's Kaysha Louvain, and this is Tea for Two.
That's you and a brew. That was a bit different.
That's Tea for Two. I we're tired, aren't we?
Yeah, we are a bit tired.
We've given up on the tea. We're back to coffee.
So yeah, that teapot is just for show.
Just for show. It's a prop.
But I feel though, this topic is going to wake us up a little bit.
I hope it does, because I am flagging. It's a Sunday afternoon and I'm tired. I'm in rehearsals for a show coming up in the Sherman called Housemates.
Would you like to plug in a bit more?
Yes, Housemates is in the Sherman. They don't know that I've been on all the episodes today.
Well, I'm not being funny.
It's every week. We film every week.
We don't film every week.
Yes, we do. We film every week.
Because you slip up every time. You'd be like, I did it on Friday. And like, you only got to look at your social media. Like, oh, I was at awards on Thursday.
Yeah. And what awards was I at?
Don't know. What awards were you at? It was that long ago, I can't remember.
The Radio Wigwam Awards.
Oh, right, okay. That was a few weeks ago.
No. I'm waiting for Kaysha to bring it up so I don't look horrible.
What? And what am I bringing up?
I won.
Oh, you... Oh, right. I was genuinely weren't going to bring it up.
Oh my god. I won an award.
You did win an award.
For my music.
Like I said, I reckon you should have won all three.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
No, I'm just being honest.
I think that would have been too much for everyone involved.
Why? Someone won 2 awards.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. And I was like, whoa, hang on.
That's a lot of glass.
It is, but
that trophy was quite the heaviness.
I think you're
getting it back on the train the next day with a hangover. That was not very fun for me.
My favourite bit about it was your speech.
I haven't posted that yet. Maybe no, I'm joking. I've posted that now.
You didn't even send it to me. Olivia sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I was expecting a really nice speech about me and Toon. Thank you to Toon, Jammer, and Radio Wigwam. Oh, okay. Not even thank you to Kaysha at Toon for working her arse off.
I said Toon Media first, though.
Oh, thank you.
I want to say a massive thank you to Toon Media, and I looked people in the eyeballs when I said it. At least I remembered.
I was expecting a little bit more, if I'm honest. But never mind. At least you said thank you. A couple of artists didn't, that we worked with, that basically got them the nomination.
Because of you.
Because of us.
Savage,
But anyway, never
But
mind.
to be fair, though, when you're in the moment, it is...
Oh, no, I'm talking about prior, when the nominations come out.
Oh, yeah, you got to be tagging you.
Oh, no, not even a tag, not even, oh, thank you for this. Thank you for promoting our stuff. When we know how the nominations come.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's grim.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No, I did thank you. I also invited my producer, Joe Rodwell, along, who is, like, exceptional at everything he does.
I love the way you say Joe. Can you say it again?
Joe.
Joe. I love it.
It is Joe, though.
Joe. Say it again.
It's because I'm Welsh. I'm proper Welsh.
You always point out the things that I say, and you're like, what? Ugh, look at the way you say things.
Yeah. Because you would say Joe.
I say Joe.
You'd say Joe, though. I'd say Joe, though.
Joe, though. It's Joe, though.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
It is strange. We're not actually that far away from each other.
No, we're not.
So different, though.
But sometimes I
and Cardiff would be like Joe, though. Joe,
don't.
though. No, that's Cockney. I don't know what Cardiff is. It's so far away.
I listen to you talk, and sometimes I'm like, oh my god, you are so Welsh. And then sometimes I listen to you and I'm like, oh, you can see that you've travelled a bit and then you lived a bit in London, so your Welsh is not really strong.
Is it?
Yeah. And then sometimes you come up with Joe, and I'm like, okay. Yeah,
I forgot she's from Porth.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I am proud of is that I don't think I've lost my accent as much as I know other people have when they've gone and studied.
100%.
Like, I've got people who live down the road from me and they're in the West End now and they sound English. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If anything, Bruford encouraged me to be more Welsh.
Yeah.
To put more of an accent on. So, anyway.
Well, someone's got to
I won an award.
Someone's got to do them Welsh acting roles that are going to pop up everywhere.
Oh, they're going to be inundated now that the King of Wales is saving Welsh theatre.
Oh, that's a dig.
That's a dig. That's a massive dig. I love Michael Sheen.
I absolutely rate him very, very highly.
I love him, and as a basically politician, and creative and film star. I love him. I think he can do no wrong.
He could quite happily live anywhere he wants to, and just be very, very selfish. And in a way, I understand what he's doing. Which, for anyone that doesn't know what we're gonna go on to talk about, I'm gonna pop in is a kind of his announcement right here now. I understand where a lot of companies are coming from, which they think now that he's come in, he's trying to save it all. What about us? Blah, 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 the funding and all these different aspects.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is he doesn't have to do this. It's not like he's funding it just so he can star in it because he's gone to work. Let's say he could go into any production and anyone would be lucky to have him.
He's just done now with the National Theatre, isn't he?
Yeah.
And played an Iron Bevan.
Like, don't get me wrong, there were some reviews of that people were like, oh, well, he was just a boring, old-fashioned,
What?
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend in that. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, well, but I think I wasn't even being biased because I think she was pretty much barely in it because obviously, like, down the pecking order, there were more famous people, Welsh actors in it with Michael Sheen. But she was in it, she was brilliant.
Old-fashioned kind of theatre show, and there was a lot of digs about that show, mind.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved Nye. I thought it was brilliant. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it, no.
You saw it was on YouTube.
You did say
don't know if it is anymore.
I'll find it.
I think this year, when I actually earn money...
What word?
When I actually earn money / get paid for something soon.
That would be nice as an actor and a musician to get paid on time.
Wouldn't it be nice?
It would be very, very nice.
And not to be chasing invoices for gigs I did 10 days ago.
Venues and promoters think that we can just survive weeks and weeks and weeks without getting paid.
And with emailing again and again and again and again.
Wow, okay. Don't worry about my bills, my car, and
my MOT
that you know is going to be done yearly.
Yes. What were we talking about?
Back to Michael Sheen.
Yeah.
Would you like to say anything? Because I know we've got slightly different points of view. However, I think we are both willing to
be proven wrong
on both accounts. But I think we are very 50-50 at the moment. Maybe 60-40 each way? Maybe?
I think I'm a bit more sceptical than you. So I think I'm about 60-40.
Yeah.
You're probably more like 50-50 on it.
I would probably go 60-40 in the opposite direction.
Oh, is it? Yeah. In the opposite direction, though.
Yeah.
You're positively 60-40 and I'm negatively 60-40.
Yes.
Okay, but it's pretty balanced. Pretty balanced.
I'm always going to have the sceptical view anyway.
Yeah.
Which is
quite who you are.
Just who I am.
But I'm like that as well. I'm not positive at all.
No.
The glass is always half empty because I always want more. Fill it up.
Yeah.
Which arguably
I
is positive.
Think the worst of every single person on the
earth.
earth.
But then it just stops you getting disappointed so much.
It is, and I think
which is a positive thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
save yourself, doesn't it? The heartbreak of. But going back to what he's doing, I understand there's going to be bad points, and I know who the names are, and I will say, like you've got the Swansea Grand, which is Grand Ambition, Nanog, Hijinks. These are all Welsh companies that are
clinging on by a thread.
Getting less and less funding as the years go on.
Yeah.
However, what I will say is...
That was such a strong however.
It was, because I didn't want you to jump in. But I didn't want you to jump in.
And I did anyway.
However, what I will say is, if it wasn't people like you that were in these shows with these companies, I would know nothing. I would know nothing about these. I know the names.
Yeah.
But I don't get nothing. I don't know any productions that they're doing. I couldn't tell you what's coming up in Swansea Grand.
No.
I couldn't tell you what Nanog are doing next.
And you follow the theatres.
And I follow them on all social media. The only thing I know that Hijinks is doing, because you're in it. So I'm like, so they're getting this funding, and I know it's not much funding, but how about they use the funding that they have got in marketing their shows?
Marketing, as we've spoken about so many times, I feel like it's going to be a broken record situation, but hopefully not for long. But marketing just isn't thought about enough in this day and age. It's not, is it?
No.
Kaysha's just pointed to a laptop screen where she had a YouTube or whatever timer up and just realised that she hasn't started it. So we've been talking for 10 minutes now and it's going to be a 40-minute episode, not a 30.
Well, no, I'll just wait until it gets down to 10 minutes.
Oh, there we are. But yes, my views are, or my hopes are, because I don't want to be too negative. I love Michael Sheen, and yeah, you are right. He doesn't have to do it. Well, why is he doing it? There's got to be something that's in it for him, other than the fact that he's like the face of saving Welsh theatre. However, he's in a risky spot here, because if he dries up anyone who's trying to do Welsh theatre that isn't his company, his national Welsh company now, he's going to very quickly become not a national treasure of Wales in terms of acting and in the acting industry. Yeah. And I just worry as well that, like, it's already naturally quite a cliquey industry in Wales because it's smaller. And also you've got the additional, there are Welsh speaking actors and they get lots of work in Wales, as they should, and they do lots of work in Welsh, right? Mm-hmm. My worry would be that, and I hope this isn't the case, because I know from personal friends and stuff that he's very supportive of up and coming talent and like new people. I know he's brilliant for that, but I just worry we'll see the same people in the same productions all the time, which will actually strangle not only Welsh theatre companies who are trying to do something different to his big funded national theatre that he's starting. It's also going to be that the actors who aren't in that clique with his National Theatre of Wales and can't get in and aren't doing the bilingual stuff with him, they're just like, where do we work now then? Yeah. Are we just got to wait for a London company to cast us in something? I should be able, as a Welsh actor, I should be able to knock on the Sherman's door and be like, I really love to work with you. But I also, you know...
On the other side of that, though... Yeah. What about us musicians? So take off your actor hat and put on your singer-songwriter musician hat.
It's right? On, yeah. My number one winning Best Female 2025 musician hat.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Us musicians now, Welsh musicians that don't speak Welsh, are getting less and less funding
to do music, to release music.
So we've gone from the point.
Kaysha, you don't need to tell me that. No. I got rejections at the start of the year. I could have been crack, as you know, with Tune and the support Tune gives me. I could have been cracking on now. Me and you could have had a meeting this morning and gone, right, we've got this 10 grand now from that launch pad that shall not be named, which I've basically named it. Yeah, okay. La 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 la. You know, I've got this 5 to 10 grand now from them. I can release my EP way sooner than next year, which is currently probably when I'd be able to release it. It's ready to go.
We've gone from now being like 10% Welsh speaking that gets the funding to now, actually 90%. No, there are so many of us that don't speak Welsh. It's not our fault. We were brought up in villages that didn't speak Welsh. We went to schools that weren't Welsh-speaking schools.
Then there's a huge history behind the reason why this is massive generational gap who do not speak Welsh.
Exactly.
We were literally beaten if we spoke it.
If we spoke it.
So that's just trickled down the generation.
So we're living in these valleys that our great-grandparents...
Great-Granny Jones.
Yeah. I got beaten for speaking Welsh. So, but now we're trying to pursue a career where there is absolutely no funding because we don't speak Welsh.
Yeah. And I just worry that acting hat on, I worry. And I know Michael Sheen doesn't actually speak Welsh, does he?
No.
I don't think. But I just worry that he'll be able to get his hands with his name, with his famous Hollywood name now, and all the press knowing what he's trying to do, which is great. And I hope I'm proven wrong for some of the points that I've raised. But he's going to be able to get his funding on even the Welsh stuff now because it's his name on it. Yeah. Which is, like, hopefully a good thing. He said he wants to start with, like, he wants to do simple plays and do them well, and get bums on seats, which I think is great. Does that mean he's going to star in all of them? Probably, because he knows it'll be a success if he's in it, because he himself, his name, can get people through the door. That doesn't necessarily mean the production's going to be good. There's a high chance it'll be very good because it's him, he's brilliant.
Come on, but how many shows have we gone to with these superstars, we've gone to this show and gone, what the fuck was that?
Exactly. So I worry that his name is going to, ruin...
any context.
Yeah.
How many people, right, in the recent funding applications that have gone on...
I don't know which ones you're possibly talking about.
There's quite a few. So, whoever, if you feel like we're targeting you, we probably are. We've sat down and we gone, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What the hell did they sound
Never seen them live. Where'd they come from?
They did one show once in Cardiff.
They've lived in Wales for 2 months. Of course they've got the Welsh funding.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, what?
And it's, again, it is who you know. Somehow they've got the funding. You're like, well, how did that happen? Because they've played once in the past decade where I think I'm into my thousands.
Yeah.
Or however many. In the last decade.
Is there somebody... Have you ever been in charge of giving funding out of any kind? Have you been on any sort of, like...
I give charity out all the time.
Yeah, I know. I know. I am one of them. Have you ever been on, like, a board where you look through applications and you go, I think that person deserves it over that person? Have you ever been in that situation?
No, there's probably a good reason why I'm not.
Yeah, and I don't envy people who are, because I'd imagine they are inundated with applications. However, I'd quite like to see a world in which... the public are allowed to, if they want, to access the applications to see, like, well, that person got it. What's it say in their application that's swung it?
Yeah.
I'd love that, because I'm going to say, with applying for festivals off the PRS list for the summer coming up, I think I spent the best part of about 2 days in hours, like 6 to 12 hours easily, filling out application after application after application. And the Welsh ones for music that I filled out, I made sure that I had, like, the copy of one of them that I'd sent off saved, so I didn't say the same thing in the other one, or I said it a different way, because I didn't want to do the lazy copy and paste situation, even though they're all the same questions. What have you got planned in the next 6 months? How much is it going to cost you? Break down your costs. How much will the EP cost? What are you struggling with currently? And, like, I quite like to see... Because I was scared there'd be maybe the same person looking at both of them, or I don't know. And I just didn't want to look like I've been lazy, copy and pasted, and therefore don't really care if I get it, because I needed that money this year. Wow. And I've had it, arguably, on the outside, if you're just looking at Instagram and looking at the awards and the releases, I've had an exceptional year, 2024, for music. My bank balance doesn't show that at all.
It never does.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah, but I would like to see other people's applications. I would also be really intrigued to know, like, it's so subjective, music.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's so subjective, and we're not sitting here. I think I can speak for you. We're not sitting here going, why the hell have they got it? Are they rubbish? Normally, everyone's good within their own rights and in a different way. That's not the problem. So, it's the kind of thing of, like, most of the people I've seen get this funding, they're all Welsh speakers, and I'm like, that's really not very fair.
No, it's not.
Actually,
it's not fair. So when
I haven't had the opportunity to learn Welsh properly. Like,
it's not our fault.
No, and there's definitely people listening to this now going, well, boo-hoo, learn Welsh then. Learn Welsh, release this on Welsh.
With all the time that I've got to scrape by.
and to pay for a Welsh course.
My arse off, and also
Duolingo. That's going to do a world of good.
Provide opportunities for all these artists that I work with. So I will now go, okay, with for example, 40, 50 artists that we worked with in 2024. I'll get with you, right? I'm going to take all your Welsh A-lists off you and your awards off you. But I'm going to learn Welsh.
Great.
Yeah. So your career's now not progressed in the last year.
Because you're learning Welsh.
Because I'm learning Welsh. And guess what? I still can't fucking speak it.
There should be funding for you to learn Welsh, because that's the other thing. I've
looked at it for the company to learn Welsh.
I've looked on a personal level as an actress who would open. I know so many more opportunities. Pobl Cwm, SOC, Welsh Theatre, even Theatre Na Nog would have me back to do Welsh things, even though they did push me to learn Welsh on a job, and I did.
Yeah.
Well, the lines anyway, and I knew what they meant, and it was great. But, like, as soon as I left that room, then my family don't speak it. I've got no friends to learn it with, really. Like, Kieran's potentially one person, but he's a learner himself, he would say, even though I would say he's fluent, but that's a whole conversation for today. And I haven't got time, mainly I haven't got money to join a proper course, like an intensive course to learn it quickly. Yeah. It's like a few £100 to go off to this, like, cottage in the woods to learn Welsh with somebody who's going to actually sit with me and go, this is how you speak Welsh. Which I think, because of my age and because of the lack of time I've got and the lack of money, I need that.
I have no problem speaking
Duolingo
Welsh.
is going to do absolutely nothing for me. I know it's not.
The issue with me is I can speak Welsh.
Oh, I could speak it. I just can't practice it.
Exactly.
I don't find it difficult. Like, I know words and I read signs and I understand.
And I generally think that is probably the acting background that I've got as well. Yeah. That is very easy to pick up.
Yeah, you learn phonetically and language. And
when I was in secondary school, even though I didn't understand a word that I was saying, my what do they call them when you get to year 11? GCSEs? The orals that you do or whatever they are.
Oh, GCSE oral exams. Yeah. For like Welsh. Yeah. Mine
was chosen to be put up.
Oh, because yours are so good, like.
Yeah, because literally, my teacher would go da 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 da. She'd say it to me. I go, okay, record. Da 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 da. Mm-hmm. But I knew how to speak it tidy because someone was telling me and I could pick it up, no problem.
Yeah, but you didn't then leave school and you weren't then able to practice it with somebody in like a coffee shop.
No.
Because, like, you know, if me and you were learning now, we could try and do an episode in Welsh, but, like, it's not going to happen, is it?
No, because we wouldn't have a clue, because there'd be some way you would have to say a word, even though there's, like, 3 or 4 different ways how to say one word.
Yeah, and also there's also accents within Welsh, which I only learnt about on Operation Julie.
It is insane.
It's a minefield.
It is such a difficult language.
But I don't really understand, bringing it back to music, I don't understand why is there just, like, more opportunity for, like, music's music? Like,
if it's good, it's good. And
it's good music or it's bad music. Whether the artist speaks 10 languages or not, it should be about the music funding.
I've worked with a lot of Welsh-speaking artists in the last year, and I've listened to their music, and if I like it, I listen to it.
I don't care what language it's in.
One of my favourite songs of 2024 was...
Married?
No.
I love Married's music.
Was the Night School, Rhiannon. I think you'll like it. I think it's up your street.
I feel like I've already listened to that, you know? The Night School.
Honestly, it's one of my... And I had it on repeat.
Yeah.
I ain't got a clue what
it's in Welsh?
It's in Welsh, all in Welsh.
Sean Russell Jones's band Angel Hotel, lots of their singles are completely in Welsh. Yeah. And I've ended up learning them based on listening to the music because it's all like... I loved it. Like, some of my favourite songs by Angel Hotel. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what language it's in.
No. But then are people going to be like, well, there's less... I don't know. In my experience... Oh, God, I'm going to say some things here. In my experience, Welsh schools, trickling down the line of where you'd learn about music and start maybe going into it, Welsh schools get more funding because they're Welsh schools.
Of course they do.
So those
I think that's a known fact, so I don't think you're going to get in trouble for that.
Yeah, but also, like, that means that the students going to those schools are getting better music education, better everything education, because the school has more money and time and probably smaller classes. They get more one-to-one situations going 100%. On. So, actually... It's non-Welsh speakers you should be supporting more. Yeah. Because, like, I went to, like, a poor Catholic... I was with the nuns, like... I was learning about hymns in church, which is useless. Lovely, though. I love hymns.
When they were discussing schools for my niece, Skylar, I automatically said... Welsh.
Send her to a Welsh school.
I was like, Welsh. And they were like, but none of us speak Welsh. Welsh.
Nah, she can teach you.
She will get more opportunities.
I said the same about Isla. I don't know why my sister hasn't done that with Isla.
They haven't done it with Skylar either. And I'm like, just send it. She'll have more opportunities. Honestly...
The Eisteddfods, the performance opportunities, the learning about Welsh history, clogging.
It's gone to the point now.
Clogging and things. And, like, my cousins have got such a vibrant understanding of specifically Welsh history. I was busy learning about, like, the Pope and yeah.
I don't know what I was learning.
The Pope, but no, I didn't want that. I didn't want that to be mean. I am actually Catholic, like, through and through. However, I was learning just through and to be continued. I was busy learning about the Bible, and then on the side, RE, so religious education, which was really interesting. I actually loved RE and different religions, and I think that is so important as well. But I wasn't in a massive 80-strong school choir because we had a competition coming up in North Wales.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, those opportunities alone are where most of the Welsh artists I listen to now, I'm aware that they've come through at the Eisteddfod and they've come through all of those, like like strict competitions where they've had to stand on stage and perform in Welsh like this. I didn't have any of that. I was just in my local like Amdram group.
Yeah.
Doing like Nancy and Oliver.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even Nancy and Oliver because I had to be in the chorus. You know all about that.
I know all about that, babe.
Thanks, Al. But like
it's got to the point now where
it's exhausted me.
The people
and I want to work in Wales.
But that's
I want to stay here.
As English speaking Welsh people are now being not classed as Welsh.
Oh yeah, that does my head. I've had some really savage conversations with people.
I love Wales, right?
I love Wales, and I wish I spoke Welsh.
There's
God, I wish I spoke Welsh.
We've spoke about it so many times.
Yeah,
about living in London, living in cities, stuff. I ain't moving anywhere.
No, I can't afford to.
I love Wales. I love where I'm from. I love the valleys. I love the fresh air. Just
the fresh water.
Yeah, just give me that. That's what I want. I want to live in Wales.
However, in Wales, yeah.
Well, yeah, I want to live and work in Wales.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, do you speak Welsh? No. Well, are you Welsh? Because that's what they're actually saying. They may not say it to your face, but that is what they're saying.
Yeah, and there's in the acting industry,
straight away from hundreds of years ago.
And I felt guilty when I got cast in Operation Julie. I remember a really specific moment, and thank God Theatre Nanog and every single person who works for them are exceptional people and kind and want to teach. Like that is, they do so much theatre and education anyway, so it doesn't surprise me that them as people want to teach their peers as well, just not on like a younger person's education, like, you know, just in general. We were doing the read through for Operation Julie, and I was absolutely bricking it. It was my first job only after like 5 months of, it was during the night bus time when I'd come back from London, and the only thing I'd done before that I was lucky enough to do before then, kind of on the COVID Christmas when we were coming out of COVID, was the Liverpool Everyman Panto. So in my head I hadn't actually done like Panto, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but I hadn't done like a serious job yet. And I'd had 5 months off of being in London and being like, oh my God, I don't know where I should be. If I move back to Wales, I'll never work. Then this Theatre Nanog audition came through, got to the read through, sat down with my script. And I'd read it through like briefly, but that was my first lesson as well of like, before a read through, read the script, because you just look a bit thick, I think, if you don't. Or it's just evident that like you're choosing day one as day one and you're not preparing for day one, which is fine. Sometimes you come straight off another job, sometimes you haven't got a choice. Anyway, the kind of shown to me was based around this Welsh-English divide thing, whereby I came up to one of my characters and she was completely Welsh-speaking. She was a Welsh-speaking character. And I tried my best. I stumbled through the script as much as I could in Welsh. So I'd made little pencil notes on like the phonetics of how you say stuff, but it wasn't accurate. And I'd asked my cousins for help, but they had even said things slightly different to how Nanog wanted me to say them, because my character is from West Wales. Yeah. So it was a different accent, but I just said to my cousins, how would you say this? And they told me how a South Walian would say it, so it was kind of wrong, but not, you know.
But not too wrong.
Not too wrong, but yeah, it wasn't awful, but I remember kind of being on that table and going, oh my God. And then I kind of, afterwards, Gaynor, who I've got just so much respect for, I love the woman, but Gaynor came up to me with Llynnos, I think it was Llynnos, and was like, don't worry about the Welsh.
She
instantly knew that I was like,
the right thing to say as well.
She just went, don't worry about the Welsh, you'll be fine, you've got time. And I went, what do you mean? She was like, well, you don't speak Welsh, do you? And I was like, absolutely not, Gaynor. Like, no shit, Sherlock. I was like, how did you hear that? It was shocking. And I said, I just feel really guilty because, you know, you've cast me, and I don't know if you didn't realise that. Maybe you just assumed I did as a Welsh actress. You know, I've got like learning Welsh on my bloody spotlight, but everyone just bloody ticks the box of learning Welsh. Learning Welsh every day.
All stumble through a few sentences.
And like if I had a voiceover in Welsh, I'd say it. I'd be like, yeah, great, I can learn that phonetically fine. But I felt really guilty in that room then of predominantly Welsh-speaking people. Obviously, half of the Operation Julie cast were English, so then that made me feel comfortable. Do you know what I mean? But I felt really bad. And I went home, and I remember saying to my mum and dad, I was like, I think they thought I spoke Welsh, and maybe I shouldn't be in that room. Maybe they should have cast a Welsh-speaking actress. And my mother was like, do they play drums and do all of the other things that are perfect for that part? I was like, yeah, no, but I don't speak Welsh. I got to do 2 characters in Welsh now. I can't speak Welsh. Yeah. My mother was like, well, you're in a room full of Welsh speakers who have had years in the industry asking for help. And I won't lie to you, Llynnos who's a director within her own rights now, but I think she was maybe shadowing Gaynor on that job the first time round, or I can't quite remember, but Llŷnos is like the kindest human on the planet, and an amazing director. Like, some of the stuff she did, Turning the Wheel, she directed Turning the Wheel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like, the woman's an absolute powerhouse. And she came up to me and said, I'm going to help you with your Welsh, okay? I'm going to, anything you need now, we'll go through it phonetically, and is it okay if I correct you when you're wrong? And I was like, please do. Yeah. Like, I don't want to learn that wrong, because that's not going to be any good.
Once it sticks, it sticks.
And she helped me so much with Gaynor and with all the other people in the room who are now, like, my really good friends in the industry. By the time I got to the show, the first time round, we came out into, like, the reception of, I think it was Aberystwyth Arts Centre, and all of these, like, Aberystwyth, like, all of these, like, West Mid-Walians were coming up to me and, you know, saying, as people do after the show, well done, you were so good, but completely in Welsh. And I was, like, with Philip Harris going, Phil, what did they say? And, like, they immediately were like, oh. And I was like, I'm sorry, dim siarad Gymraeg. Like, I'm so sorry, I don't speak, I actually don't speak Welsh. And the shock on their faces...
It was a bit like I was it.
I just choked on my own spit. The shock on their faces was more kind of, I don't know how to say it, like...
It's a bit rewarding, like, going,
well,
I did it well.
I felt guilty, and Philip Harry said to me, don't feel guilty, love. You've just tricked them into thinking you're a Welsh speaker.
Yeah.
So you must be all right, and you might as well learn. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, yes. And he was like, it's a compliment. You shouldn't feel ashamed that you've taken the job off a Welsh speaking. You've done the job, you've done it well.
What
and
if they were shit at singing and playing drums?
Well, yeah. But obviously me, graduate, was going, I shouldn't be here. Imposter syndrome on every level of that job to begin with. And as soon as that happened, I just had this confidence come over me of like, I'm an actress, I'll do whatever you want me to do. If I can trick the audience into thinking I'm believably Welsh...
What's the difference between doing a different accent... to doing a different language.
Yeah, and that's a whole different conversation with accents, and people should be in things and shouldn't.
It's still taught.
Yeah.
As long as you do it well, I don't care.
Yeah, but again, I felt guilty starting the job because I was like, everyone now, I've been exposed, and I thought they knew that. Yeah. They knew in the first place. They just were like, yeah, I should be able to do it, without even like testing me, which was. Yeah. You know, arguably like really brave of Gaynor, but by the start of the shows, I felt guilty that I'd stolen a Welsh-speaking actress's job, and I should be doing something else.
Don't worry, they've probably just got 20 grand off some funding thing anyway, so don't worry about that.
But like, it was amazing. Like, I went from guilt to Philip Harris being like, that's a massive compliment to you as an actress that you've managed to pull the wool over their eyes, and they think you're a Welsh speaker, and you've learned as well. You've learned to. You're not just saying the lines phonetically like a robot. You have to understand them for them to go in. It's like Shakespeare. You have to understand what you're saying in that way to be able to portray the message through the tone of your voice and stuff. You're not just going, I am saying the line. It's like there's meaning behind it. So
it's again, it's my thing of it's like learning a different language.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm so aware that we've strayed into talking about Welsh and we started talking about Michael Sheen. But I think
it all ties in.
It kind of all ties in, doesn't it? Maybe we will get somebody in who knows a bit more about the ins and outs
I would like to know more
from somebody's who knows what's actually going on behind the scenes.
And I think we will know more over the coming months.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're going off a couple of statements. We're going off
a BBC Two radio.
You know, a couple of people that are in different companies that are a bit like, please don't take my funding.
Yeah.
And then you've got the public going, yes, this is what we need. And it's I don't think everyone's got the correct information yet.
I don't even think Michael Sheen really knows if he's funding it or if you know he doesn't know what he can get his hands on yet.
All we know at the moment is that he's going to be funding the first one, and then he's looking for public and private funding. So that
hopefully it's majority private. That's what I'm hoping.
I honestly think there's probably going to be more private funding.
I think there might need to be because there's not enough funding to go around. That's the point people are worried about.
No, but should someone just get funding if they are not producing the level that should be? So you can't just be like, I was here first, but your shows are shit.
And you're not, so do you subjective like
and
music.
And that's not aimed at anyone, honestly, because the ones that I have seen are we talking about...
Are the ones I'm in, and they're all brilliant.
Well, yeah, not far off, to be honest. You know?
I was making a joke, but
but if we're going off the back of things like Operation Julie, which we've seen, then that was incredible. throw the funding at that.
Throw it. And then
literally throw it, send it everywhere. Not just across the UK, fucking send it across the world.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will enjoy that regardless of whether they're Welsh, English.
Oh yeah, and I think as well, I know Michael Sheen's saying I'm going to start simple and do it well. I agree, like sometimes going back to basics, not trying to do anything too arty-farty and different. Do the classics and get people through the doors of these theatres again to see a good play that's done well.
I don't think he's going to star in everything.
Yeah.
I think he's going to star in the first one.
Yeah.
I think it was some talk about he was going to start with 3, so I'm guessing that's 3 a year.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe some. Yeah.
And potentially he could do that first year.
Yeah.
But I think he will then start to look at, I'm going to take a step back, maybe I'll direct one. Maybe I'll be in it in some capacity, but I think he'll eventually step away there.
I'll make the tea on break time for the cast. No, what I was going to say then was I hope that he does start with the basics. I think that is a really good idea, because I think people are just so confused by some things they see now, and they're like, is this meant to be, what is this like? Because people are trying it too hard almost. I think he needs to seek out stories that are Welsh and aren't necessarily new Welsh stories. Sometimes we've seen them before, like even like things like Welsh myths, like Beth Gaelert, the story of the like the cool things. Like, I think he needs to give them a chance and do them well, i.e. Turning the Wheel. There's Tiger Bay, the musical. There's so many newly written things that just haven't been given the extra funding to go that extra mile to have a proper run in a theatre with proper support. Yeah. They've just had the kind of bare bones funding where they've managed to do 4 performances or a week somewhere, and it's not enough time to have people come and see it and rave about it. So, I mean, even Housemates, the first time around, we were given a week and a half in the Sherman, and it basically sold out, like. And as soon people couldn't believe, people who were in that foyer were like, what do you mean you're finishing on Friday? We barely had time to get into it. Yeah. I felt like we'd just done the previews and then we were doing our last bow. It was so sad, like. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't have it for longer. Now, obviously, it's come back. Maybe they just needed to do that little tester. But, it's risky. They might not have got all of the cast back. And there's so many things that casting can be put up. Like,
not to put any pressure on you, but it could fail this time around.
Yeah, it could. It could be worse. People could kind of rely on the fact they've seen it now. They don't want to see it again. Yeah. I don't think that'll happen with this, because like I said, it only had a week and a half.
A lot of people that have seen it have gone, it's amazing.
And actually the Sherman have now, like literally in the last few days.
There's not many tickets left. I know that for a fact.
They told us, Joe Murphy on the first day and Ben Petitway, they're the 2 directors. So it's the Sherman and Hijinks doing a co-production. They both are directors and they're brilliant together, and it's just a brilliant room to be in. Anyway, they kind of said to us, wink wink, nudge nudge, get your family and friends in now, because it's going to sell out. So they knew there was demand for it, and therefore they've ploughed money into it and they're doing it, which I'm really grateful for, because I'm employed now and making money. Yay. Woohoo. But it is such an important show, and like I just hope it won't flop again.
It won't.
It absolutely, there's no way. I mean, people are already commenting on the
I was looking at tickets. There is not many tickets left.
Yeah, and I was looking at by the time this comes out, when will it? It'll probably be about the week before. I reckon
you'd probably maybe just going in.
I'm probably about to go into tech. Oh, I'm in my first. When did it come out? A Tuesday. I'm in my second day of tech, probably.
Yeah, possibly.
Or the second or the first performance.
Yeah.
I'm probably in press night right now, which is fun. But I'd be really proud to see it sell out again, even if it just sells out for the Sherman and then we do the tour to Aberystwyth and the Torch Theatre. Yeah. But they're hoping it comes back in the autumn as well and does England. How
many seats are in the Sherman?
I don't know. I think it's like 400 or 500.
Again, why isn't this show coming to the Newbridge Memo?
Park and they could fit it there. They just don't think it's. I think maybe it's too close to Cardiff that they think if they're splitting an audience.
But again, I'm going to the marketing team. I can guarantee you now, right? We can go around all these little villages in my valley,
Kieran Bailey style, with little posters and
if I go, you can see your Housemates in Cardiff. They'll go, what?
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. On paper it's close, but actually
it's not.
People don't go to Cardiff from
Valleys. I say to you all the time that it is a different world to Cardiff.
Oh, yeah, it's completely different.
Like, whatever's going on in Cardiff, most of the time we don't give a shit. Unless there's someone we know that is in it.
And weirdly, I find that people in the valleys, when they think, oh, let's go and see a show, if they are inclined to do that, they'll get on a National Express in Cardiff and go to London to see a show, which baffles me.
To be honest, if I'm in the mood to see a show, I'd probably just look at Millennium
Centre
and have a look what's on there.
And pay £300 for a ticket to a show you can't hear properly.
Oh,
sorry. That came out right at the end.
You may as well, right? Just get a 20, 25 quid one at the back. There's hardly any difference.
I disagree. If I'm going to the Millennium Centre, I will just pay £100 to sit close because I think it's too big. It winds me up. I love that building and I love the people there and I love the wood and the slate, and I think it's so Welsh, and it's in beautiful Cardiff Bay, and you can park in Red Dragon, buy a coffee and have free parking, which is very important. But like, it's a concert hall, it's not a theatre. All of these like touring tiny little West End shows, people go, Chicago's come into the Wales Millennium Centre. They get the Wales Millennium Centre and they've had to put the stage smaller, so they're not actually using the full stage. Yeah. They're too big. I would have liked to have seen Hamilton there because I think the London production of Hamilton is in that massive theatre, which is in, was it the Palace? No. So sorry, I lost the pub quiz. But they made that show in a big space. It's fine. In the Millennium, I'd imagine. Also, with that wood going onto that golden set, it must have been like incredible. But most of the shows are done in tiny little West End theatres, and when they tour, I get disappointed. I'm like, come on.
In all fairness, I think the last time I got blown away there was seeing Ghost.
I've never seen that professionally.
Oh my God.
Was it good?
I cried.
That song With You is my firm favourite. I love it.
I know how to play that on guitar. Perhaps that can be one of our songs that we
open
duet.
mic at the Muni or something.
I was thinking more of our album that we're going to do.
Oh, well, you just dropped that at the end of this episode. I did. Shall we announce it officially or wait?
No, we may as well announce it now.
Okay.
Because I want to get planning it anyway, so. Caitlin and I are going to be doing an album of cover songs to go alongside season/series 1 of T for 2. So
kind of like, now that's what I call music.
Yes.
Like what they call them, editions? No, like
compilation. Compilation albums, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it that.
Compilation.
Yeah. So we're just basically gonna release all of our favourite covers in a certain way. We'll do something funky to them because who needs another cover that sounds exactly the same as the original? Yeah. So we'll do funky things to them, change it up, make it calypso, make it jazz.
Probably definitely going
musical
to be
theatre.
Yellow by Coldplay.
Yeah, because Kaysha sang it at the Green Rooms and I nearly cried. I was like, ah! And that's where the idea formed. I came up to you, didn't I? I was like, so why don't we just release a cover album?
Yeah, why not?
So we're gonna link it to T for 2. Maybe we'll call it like T for songs with T. I don't know.
Songs for 2.
Time to go. I'm literally falling asleep. Songs for 2.
Songs for 2. Never know. But yes, we'll probably keep you updated on the whole Michael Sheen thing. Yeah. Because obviously it's of interest to us and probably a lot of our listeners as well. So.
Yeah.
But yes, if anyone knows of any funding going that is not biased towards Welsh-speaking artists, do let us know.
Please do, because I'd quite like some money to be able to release the fantastic songs that me and Joe have actually worked on. And are ready to go, ready to release, but I just can't afford it. So that's really something I'm dealing with over the next few weeks.
Yes.
It's very frustrating for me.
I'm going to get a lot of voice notes. Yeah.
From me.
Can't wait. But anyway, see you next week.
Ta-da!